Software. Okay, we are testing the newly updated FSD to 12.5.4. Just received that from Tesla. We are in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. It's a bit late, but we got it, so we're gonna test it out. We are going to Missions Drift right now, so let's see if it can go from a garage, because usually go to Missions Drift Langley.
Missions Drift dia. Ni. Klik.
This one, Missions Drift. Okay. Still okay, so we still have to get out from the garage. Maybe that's makes sense. Okay. So let's give it a try. Wait. Still doesn't like it. Maybe now. There we go. So it's auto speed. It's turned on. So then Tesla can decide the speed it wants to go through. Faster or slower. So this feature, we have the hands off feature. So just making sure I'm looking at the street, and that's about it. We should have no interruption all the way to Missions Drift. See how it goes. Last time I was trying, I have to interrupt when it's going to the parking lot. It's a bit confused to enter the parking lot. So let's see what happens now. So we are expecting of totally zero interruptions all the way to the store. So this is a hardware 3 Tesla Model 3 2023. That's a lot of threes there. Okay, so let's see. Lots of traffic from the left. This is a good test. So it's gonna wait it out all the way until it's possible to enter the intersection. Okay. Good job. Changing lane on its own. No hands so far, and I don't have to keep wiggling this button here. So as long as we are paying attention to the road, we should be fine. Let's see the smoothness of the drive as well, the braking and accelerating. We don't want jerking behavior. Stopping or accelerating, it should be smooth, not making people nausea when driving. So far so good. All right. Again, this is Langley, British Columbia. We are driving about short distance from home to Missions Drift, Langley. This is a good place to do thrifting in Langley. If you don't know about Missions Drift, they have a lot of clothings, and they have 50% off every 15th of the month. But the pricing is already cheaper than Value Village, especially for the ladies clothing. It's fresh and lots of options, but not as much for men's clothing, because I don't think men donate their clothing as often as ladies, because we don't buy as much clothing as woman buys clothing. So when I'm shopping for a pants or a shirt or anything, is pretty much worn out. there's not much fresh or still nicer ones to pick from. But for the ladies' clothing, there's a whole lot of options to pick from. Okay, so far so good. So I won't be cutting the whole trip, but I may speed it up. The whole trip from here to Mission Street is about maybe 15 minutes long. But I'll just make it a 5-minute video, speed it up. Unless there is something interesting going on, then I'm gonna slow it down to the normal video speed again. Cool. So far, no interruptions from my hands needed. Totally hands-free. Still, you can't play with your phone or look at the screen even for too long. It's gonna say it. Pay attention to the road. Let's give it a try. So I'm gonna look at the screen right now. Let's see what happens. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. 6 seconds. Say pay attention to the road. So maybe 5 seconds if you're looking at it. And if you keep doing that, I think they're gonna disengage the full self-driving. You can't fall asleep as well. So let me try closing my eyes. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes now. 1001, 1002, 1002. But I can't see if it's saying something though.
No.
4. My wife will take a look. 5, 6, 7. Maybe we're stopping. They don't care if you close your eyes because we're stopping. Let me do that while we're driving. Because if you're tired and you have a long commute back home, it feels tempting to just close your eyes and go to sleep, right? But I think it's going to beep on you. You can't fall asleep still. We're not there yet. But it's nice for traffic and stuff. You know, you can look around at the trees or the houses. Let's try that. I'm going to look around at the houses. I think it's not as concerned if you're looking away at the street. But if you're looking at the screen, it's going to tell you, hey, you can't look at the screen too long. But I can look at outside just fine. See? Oh, still pay attention to the road. Doesn't like it. So that's good to know. We have to keep attention to the road and not left or right. But you can do that for a split seconds. Maybe less than 5 seconds should be fine. And maybe in next videos I'm gonna ask my wife to try the full self-driving here. See if she's gonna disengage or let it be and trust the robot. Because if you're not used to it, you're just gonna freak out for any situation and just try to disengage. But as trust is built with time, you just have to keep trusting it, and as you see, it's actually handling it fine. As time goes by, you will trust the system more and more, just like trusting other humans. If you know they're actually are trustworthy and keep doing what they're saying they're gonna do, and you're gonna trust them more and more and more. But if not, you're gonna have doubt in the system or in the humans. It's a bit warm now. Let's turn it down a bit, the climate. Okay, so far so good. As you can see, we have constructions on the road. On the right there, we have cones, constructions. It's gonna navigate just fine. It's already navigating just fine from the previous version, 12.3.6. But this is 12.5.4, which is much more advanced. Should be just fine. Okay, we're going now.
Lampunya soalnya
See
dia-
all these cones? Yeah. The traffic light is off. See how well it's gonna go here. It's gonna go because there is no traffic. There is no red or green or yellow, so it's just gonna go. Traffic light is out due to constructions. Look at it's navigating the cone just fine. So no worries there. If you are going through a construction zone, it's gonna navigate fine, as long as there is no weird situation that's too out of the ordinary. So question, is it worth it to do FSD? I think it's worth it if you are commuting far away, and it's worth it if it's already able to drive on its own without anybody sitting here. So my plan when that happens is to actually use this car as a family robo taxi, right? So in the morning it drives me to the office, I get out of the car, it goes back home on its own, no driver here, and then pick up my son, drive him to school, no driver, going back home again, and then pick up my wife. She wants to go to thrifting, drive her and then park on its own and wait there, and then drive her back home, pick me up from the office, pick my sons from school. Then it's totally worth it. And when the robot taxi is there, otherwise it's only worth it if you're commuting like from Langley to Vancouver to work, or to Abbotsford, a lot and every single day. It will take the stress out of driving, so you just sit back. As long as you're paying attention to the road, you can't fall asleep though, you can't close your eyes, you can't play with your phone, but it takes out the stress out of driving totally, because you don't have to worry about merging lanes, switching here and there, thinking about where you're supposed to go. It's gonna decide for you the shortest time to go home or to work based on the current congestion in the road, so you don't even have to think about that. So you just sit, make sure it's doing its thing, then it's worth it. But if you for me, if you're doing everything pretty much locally, not commuting through the highway, it's only worth it if it can drive you, and then drop you off totally, and then drive on its own without a human in the car. That will be the breakthrough by Tesla. There's another Tesla from California there. You see the red one? So here is so many Teslas in Langley. See, I'm confident when it's driving through the main road, but when it's starting to enter to parking lots and stuff, that's where I'm cautious, because sometimes it makes weird turning decision or doesn't know what to do. So that's where I'm ready to disengage at any time. But driving through main roads is 99.9% is fine. Only when it's entering to the parking lots and stuff, just be ready to take over. Just in case he's totally confused, don't know where to go. Main roads like this are fine. Even from the earlier versions are fine. Nice. So as you see, so far I haven't touched the steering wheel for anything. Usually I have to keep wiggling the speed buttons there to just know I'm still paying attention. Now I just keep watch on my eyeball, making sure I'm looking straight up. And they say it also works with the sunglasses now. I don't know how they can do that. They can look through the sunglasses maybe. And I also count it more when driving through unfamiliar roads. So I'm driving to a whole other city that I'm not familiar with. So that way I can just, let it drive. So I don't know which lane to take and stuff like that. You just take the stress out of the unfamiliar territories. But driving on a familiar road, I prefer to drive myself.
200 meters, turn right.
He's gonna turn right. Let's see what he's gonna do. Last time it's not acting as it's supposed to be. It's a bit confused. So let's see if he's gonna turn right properly now. You can see it recorded if it's doing weird stuff. So I'm gonna prepare to take over if it's confused again.
Dia a bit confused dah.
Okay, it's confused, so I'm gonna take over. Just trying to follow the bus there.
Station is on the right.
Volunteer
So it's supposed to enter that parking lot, right? Maybe it's thinking it's a curb. Doesn't have lines that's obvious. Maybe it's just confused. It thinks it's a curb. So I'm gonna park on the other side there. And let's see the park assist function. We're gonna use that. So here we can do park assist here beside the blue car.
Oh, jangan di sini. Oh, di sini.
Oh jangan ya.
Boleh di sini.
Hah?
Boleh di sini aja.
So I'm gonna do that and start. There's a bike in the front. You can see the bike, but the car should be smart enough not to run over the bike. Okay, it's parking just fine. Perfect parking. Awesome. All right. Sweet, we're done. Okay, good job. Nah, dimatiin rekamannya.
Kamu ikut tak?
Enggak deh.
Enggak ya.
Nah.